As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers.
Actions that y'all see and the antics and stuff like that, he wasn't like that. He couldn't do that around there in Harlem. All that shit came when he moved to Cali, bruh. He may have acted a fool on television with the making of the band and all that other shit like that.
Let's get into the real gritty details of why Diddy really got taken down by the feds, according to Gene Deal, one of his former bodyguards who's been speaking out about Puff's shady dealings for years. And if anyone knows what's been going on behind those platinum curtains, it's Gene.
And Gene, I want you to stay right there. You were present when Big died, and I seen you went back and forth with Mace about what he had going on and what you did. What I want you to do is, if you can, for those, especially young kids who don't even know that era, what was the atmosphere like when being in LA, moving around after the situation with Pac and just being on the West Coast, going back to Cali? Can you explain the atmosphere of just what you felt in the air of just what that day was or what that weekend was?
Not to disrespect the women that's in here, I was young, dumb, and full of cum. I didn't give a fuck. You understand? And I was smart enough to know that I better vest the fuck up and know if something go down, I may have to handle something, I may not come back home. I was just that dumb. Because I didn't have to be there. I chose to be there. But then again, I was told something that didn't happen. We're not going nowhere. We're not going to no parties. We're gonna do the Soul Train and we're gonna do studio. So to get off a private jet or a regular plane and go straight to the hotel and just go straight to the studio and go straight to Soul Train, I thought that would be cool to make the money. You understand what I'm saying?
Good plan.
But that wasn't even the situation. Me and Puff went to a lot of parties and a lot of places that Big them never showed up at. The only time I seen Big them was at the studio and Soul Train. You understand?
Yeah.
So it was dangerous, it was idiotic, and it was crazy for us to risk anybody's life for being in Cali at the time.
Around the time when Pac was actually killed, did Puff exhibit any kind of weird behavior or maybe any kind of guilt?
I didn't see Puff exhibit any of those feelings. How do you give a fuck about your enemy?
Well, one would say if a man is not as tough, he might feel like shit. Somebody might know. Somebody might tell.
Tell what? Know what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not a question.
We heard of, and I'm gonna throw his name out there because he's arrested right now.
But check it out. Don't brain wrestle with me, man. If you gotta say something, say what you gotta say. Yeah. Do what you gotta do, man. This is your money, your time, bro. Come on, let's do this.
Keefe D was arrested. There was words of $10,000 that was supposed to get in somebody's hands for when Tupac was murdered.
$10,000.
Let's just say
I ain't heard that story.
Yeah, I might be off on a number, but amount of number was supposed to get in somebody's hands, but it didn't quite make it there. And through the Keefy D Blad series to where
Gene Deal didn't just wake up yesterday to start airing out Diddy's laundry. He's been telling the world for years that Puff's been involved in some dark stuff. We ain't talking about regular industry beef. Nah, Diddy's allegedly been mixed up in all kinds of illegal activities from the early days of Bad Boy. Gene's been trying to warn people, but now it looks like the feds finally caught up with Diddy, and Gene is sitting back like, I told y'all this was coming.
anything that as far as, again, not saying who was what, but because that happened, because Tupac was murdered, that some money was to be exchanged. It didn't happen. Did you ever hear any rumblings of someone didn't get paid?
No, not at all.
How did it feel? How did Puffy react when Biggie was killed?
He was distraught, but he was in a daze, because I don't think that he thought it could happen. Because I told him before we left, if we go to this party, somebody gonna die tonight, bro. I got a phone call. I got a phone call by 3 credible sources. You understand? Right. Chaz Williams over Black Hands, part of the Guerrilla Black Mafia. Unique from Mecca Audio. And the dude that was running with Jodeci and them. Now, if people tell you they're not going to a party, and it's supposed to be the lit party of the century, you see Mace didn't show up at the party because he knew something too. And where I could say Mace knew something because the people out in California, when Mace went to basketball game, they told him, we want Puff and we want Big. See, everybody do all these investigations and everything like that, and they don't listen to the people who were there. Like I said before, there were people who wanted Big dead, and there were people who wanted Puff dead. You get it?
Right.
The people that wanted Puff dead, you understand, I thought it was a dude from the Nation of Islam that we got into it at Soul Train, right? The people that thought they had something to do with Big Jake dying, which they didn't. There was a part of Death Row or the Bloods. Then you got the guys that Big, what was called the Dog Pound, the guys with the Dog Pound when Big was out there. He was in New York, and the Dog Pound was in New York doing a video.
Yeah.
Big made a phone call to the radio station. I don't know why they aired that shit today and said, yo, New York, y'all let the Dog Pound be in Red Hook and do a video. So now they want Big head. Yeah. That video shoot got shot up, bruh. Them bullets ain't have no names on it.
That's a Snoop Dogg video with
right.
Dog Pound in New York.
Right. So you understand what I'm saying? All those people and the people who love Pac, when Pac came up there, they thought Big and them may have had something to do with that or whatever. So that's 5 different factions of people that may wanted somebody dead in Bad Boy. So now you get to this. Puff know what Mace told him. Mace ain't tell Big he had that conversation with Big. But I had a conversation with Big and them about coming around anywhere we go. Don't come to no parties, don't come nowhere. Cause it's like that.
And just cause I don't know the full story, but Mace said he was with Brandy. The singer? Or is this Brandy somebody else?
Mace said he was with Brandy the singer. I was in a hotel room with Mace, with Brandy.
With Brandy, yeah.
Okay. So if you was hotel room with Brandy, why did you make the statement, Brandy called me trying to get me to go to the party? So was she next door to you? She was next to you, y'all, both on y'all cell phones and shit? And she said, yo, Mace, We ought to go to the party. He said, Brandy, I'm not going to the party. If you with her, you got to watch what people say. I'm not saying he wasn't with Brandy at some time, but was he with Brandy after Big got killed or before Big got killed? And this is the biggest party in the industry, the Vibe party, sets the Soul Train after party.
Someone says Diddy set up Biggie to get killed. What do you say to that?
I actually thought that he put Big in a situation and thought that the individuals who was gonna come to do something to Big would have did something or try to do something to Big. I don't believe, I'm trying not to believe that he had anything to do with Big's death. I think that the people who was trying to kill Puff killed Big.
After that, some time passes, Puff still lives. Are you shocked that like he still was able to continue to thrive and grow after so much animosity was being presented towards him?
Well, Puff was built for that. You understand? Puff's mother trained him to be a superstar or in the industry, whether it been a model or a dancer or singer or whatever like that, whatever his talent would have been. So for him to come back from there, I think that he had no other reason. He had to. He had the blueprint. Big had gave him the plan.
Gene, let me ask you, are you surprised that, you know, we're about to have a trial with Tupac's murder, but Biggie's murder is still unsolved, may go unsolved? Are you surprised with that?
No, I'm not surprised because the LAPD.
Now, you know when the feds come knocking, they ain't showing up for some parking tickets. They're bringing serious charges to the table. And word is, Diddy's name has been caught up in everything from trafficking and drug smuggling to money laundering.
He has suppressed all the evidence, and they know who killed Big already, brother. I have not told a lie. When I tell the people that they had the picture of the Muslim, me and Puff in the same picture, you understand? Walking up to Puff van, but they had his face distorted. They know they got those pictures. The FBI agent, Phil Carson, said he saw the same picture. Then when he went back to review it, the picture was gone. See, they didn't know who they was dealing with. They didn't know that I had a memory like a fucking elephant, and I was not gonna forget anything that happened. I wrote that in my second book. Exactly what went down during that interview. You got people around here telling lies. This is the guy he picked. No, I don't. Run the tape. The tape will tell you, they asked me, do any of these guys on this photo look like him? And I said, nah. He said, anybody look close like the guy, something like that on this photo? I said, he looks something like him, but it's not him. That's what I said. Anytime you do a lineup and you point somebody out, what do the cops make you do? They make you initial it or sign under the picture that you said that. They seen a circle, say, this is the one he picked. No, I didn't. Not one of the detectives who was on that thing said I picked anybody in the lineup. I just said he looks something like him, but it's not him.
Damn. You know, it's crazy because, you know, documentaries come out. I know police has spoken, and it's one of those things to where we might get some, you know, I don't want to say closure, but with KVD coming up, you know, that might open up light to Tupac. I'm just curious. We're about to fast forward to what Diddy got going on. Gene, you started talking about, let's say a few years ago, about just your life in the industry. Are you concerned about the feds wanting to come sit down and talk to you about, hey, we need you as a character witness about some situation that may have happened back, you know, during your heyday?
Some situation back during my heyday.
They want to talk to you about things you may have seen.
You have to be more specific than you are, sir.
Yeah, let's get to it. The feds want to ask you certain questions about what you may have seen, and they want you as a character witness to speak on and testify against Diddy.
To testify against Diddy?
Correct.
About what?
About anything you may have seen. I mean, well, no, not even testify yet. They want to bring you in for questioning about what you may have seen. Is that a thing?
What I can say to you, sir, is that being an officer myself, they don't bring you in to question you about what you may have seen. They question you about what they already know you have seen.
That's the feds.
And what you say. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way I would know that. You understand? But what I can tell you is that, can Puff be erratic? Yes, he can. You've seen that. Can he be, does he have a monstrous behavior sometime? Yes, he have. You've seen that. You understand? Can he be threatening and abusive? Yes, he can. You've seen that. So, bro, I went on MTV in 99, VH1 in 2001, 2011. Everything that y'all just now hearing, I've been told it to them. I've been said it. They got tapes and they could go back and say, well, he didn't say that. He didn't. They got 5 hours. Y'all getting an hour. They got 5 hours, brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? Both of those places, VH1 and MTV. I was in the Silhouette because I was working still as an officer and I didn't want to lose my job. When Miss Wallace brought me over, Puff told her, I don't know Gene Deal. I told Miss Wallace everything till she was crying and told me to be quiet. She didn't want to hear no more. About the night her son died and what was going down and what I told Puff and what I said to Big, the whole 9 yards. How I pulled him out the car, all that. So bruh, this is nothing new to me. This is just post-traumatic stress that I constantly live through. And I talk about it to get over it and get me through the night. I'm not a drug abuser. I'm not a drug addict. You understand? I'm not an alcoholic. It's a good thing that I found YouTube and I found certain things other than sitting on a couch.
According to what Gene's been saying, Diddy wasn't just a mogul in the music industry. He was allegedly running a whole underground empire that nobody wanted to talk about.
You from St. Louis, you're in Harlem. How did you adapt to that change? How did you just become what you are from being from such a different place?
Well, first of all, I was coming to New York since 82.
Yeah.
Because I was dating a New Yorker in college. You understand?
Yeah, okay.
So, she helped me adapt to Harlem real well. Shout out to Evita. So now, me going back and forth, coming all, because I really, my family life was not like that, brother. Right. I met my mother at 12. You understand what I'm saying? So when I went to school, school was my life. You understand? So I used to come to New York. Whenever she came to New York, I used to come to New York with her. So we used to go down to, people know, the $2 movies on 42nd Street. She showed me the ropes, how to get on the train. So in 86, when I graduated from college, I wasn't going back to now. I was going overseas actually to play basketball, but I tore my knee up, my meniscus. And back in that day, you tear that up, the doctor was telling you, if you keep playing ball, you ain't gonna be able to walk when you get 50. You're gonna walk with a cane. So I gave up ball and got me a job. You understand? So It was easy to adapt because I met D-Ferg, I met Slick. Slick was one of the bosses, in Harlem. So I met them. He took me as his godbrother because I could play basketball. You understand? And I played on his team and got to know a lot of people.
Man, You always hear about the different Harlem cats, like street cats, and just like how flamboyant or flashy or how cocky they were. You didn't, before you met the D-Fergs and the Slicks, did you ever have any issue like fitting in or finding your place?
Bruh, I started on the basketball court. And at the time I was a hell of a ball player. And when you a hell of a ball player, people adapt to you. They like you automatically.
Right.
You understand? And then I met Slick the first week I was there. You know, when I graduated on the basketball court. He took me over to play against Alpo's team. He beat Alpo for $10,000 that time. I asked him, I was like, yo, the dude, he said, yo, what you want? What you need, big man? You know what I said? I said, I need an orange juice and some chips. I'm good. He bought me an orange juice and chips. Everybody else was getting $500, $1,000. I didn't know the game.
Right.
You understand? And then he just brought me in as his god brother. And we have been together ever since.
Gene, can I get your takes on Alpo as far as just the man overall and him coming home, after everything that took place, and then of course his demise, that looked like a personal situation. Just real quick, if you don't mind.
Alpo was a good dude, bro. He had a problem. Him and Rich had their thing. They problem, that was their business. You understand? But to the same gang, whenever we needed something, whatever we want something, I would say, yo, go to 145 and see what you call and get that bag. He would do that for D Ferg now. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
When D needed something, or we was doing a picnic, a party, D would ask him, and Al would make sure he had it. So he was good to the same gang dudes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And him and Rich problem, that was their situation. I had nothing to do with that. I didn't care too much about that. You understand? That was their thing.
Yeah.
But to me, I gotta say how a dude treat me. When Al came home, he pulled me over. We was on 107th and 3rd Avenue in front of a apparel store. He was like, yo, Gene, what's up, man? He said, yo. I said, what's up, Al? He said, yo, I wanna holler at you. I said, what's up? He said, yo, man, all these niggas talk. I said, Al, you ain't gotta explain nothing to me, bro. You your own man. You gotta handle your own shit. He said, yeah, I know. You understand? He said, but it's a reason I stopped you. I want to pull you over. He said, Misha love you, bro. She wants you all to get back cool together. Misha was Puff's baby mother. I used to bodyguard her.
Yeah.
You understand? And I said, man, we good, bro, man. But, she stiffed me on some money, stuff like that. He said, no, we going to go to dinner and we going to straighten all that out. I said, no, we ain't going to dinner, Al. We good. Like it is, man. We straight, man. We ain't got to straighten nothing out. I got love for Misha always, man. I knew what she was going through.
There you go.
I have a different question because it's interesting. You're in law enforcement, but I know you also had relationships with certain street dudes. When you're dealing with personalities like that, is there such thing as a good street dude or a bad street dude? Or do you view them as the same kind of?
Bruh, I'm a street dude that just went to college, got my degree, got a good job. You understand?
Right.
I could tell you that the light pole was my lamp and the curb was my pillow. But that don't mean I have to do what people who make their living in the street do.
Right.
And you have individuals that'll sit here and have a conversation with you and have fun and joy, and then they'll leave somebody's head on the stoop. You got dudes that'll make that money and hustle hard like he was a 9 to 5, working 12 hours a day, and blow that 50,000 on a chain, a ring, a car, or throwing it up at the strippers. Your character has more to do with how you was raised, who you respect.
Gene spilled the tea that Diddy's lavish lifestyle, those crazy parties, and his high-profile friendships weren't just about having fun. They were about power and control. Some of the things Gene hinted at include Diddy's alleged involvement in trafficking women, leveraging his connection to cover up dirty dealings, and even pushing the limits of the law to expand his empire. Basically, Diddy thought he was untouchable, and the feds had to remind him, nah, nobody's above the law.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, to say street dudes, I met doctors that were street dudes. I met lawyers that were street dudes.
Now, you're a pretty big guy. You probably could have had your way in the streets. Probably could have made a lot of street money. What made you decide law enforcement, and what made you go that route?
Well, I was an investigator for child abuse.
Right.
I worked in the schools before I first came out. I worked with the youth, and I'd rather have a slow nickel than a fast dollar any day.
Amen. I'm glad.
Ain't nothing wrong with a slow nickel, brother. A slow nickel build communities. A slow nickel keep you home with your girl. A slow nickel, you understand, gives you situations like you have right now.
No, it's man. You said something right there. I need to write that down. Seeing the way the hip hop industry is right now, and knowing that you work with kids, what is something you tell them, like, as far as if you see them idolizing like some of the artists that you see today?
Well, first of all, if you believe in God,
Amen.
first God say, don't have no idols. No false idols. And when he said that, when you look at those people that you think are somebody, or they all that, they just regular people with a little bit more money. Me and Puff used to get into arguments. You broke ass cop. I say, broke ass cop. I said, you got a ring, I got a ring. You got a watch, I got a watch. You got a chain, I got a chain. You got a car, I got a car. You got a house. You ain't got nothing that I don't have, brother. You understand? It might be different values, but you don't have nothing I don't have. I ask the kids, love the things that you have, not that you want. When you look at things and you start idolizing things that you want,
Shout out reality street stars, nigga. Move. Hey.
all that shit the motherfucker told me he got beat up in jail, all that shit is lies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, ain't nobody touched him in jail.
Aren't they facing some more charges, though? Him and his son for going after one of the witnesses?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, that's not going to look good because they're going to put that in this Keefe D's trial.
Yeah. But he's gonna beat that case, man.
It's possible, man. It's very possible he beats
All
the case.
circumstantial evidence. He did the best thing he could do. Trial by judge. Judge has to find the letter of the law. Follow the letter of the law.
I guess there was a situation where Tupac found out Jay-Z had a show in Las Vegas.
Right.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I don't know how Pac found out that Jay-Z had a show, but Jay-Z was not coming out that room. He had to call Chaz, which Chaz called Big D. Big D called Eric B. Eric B and them called Suge Knight. And they called, and Suge said, yo, man, that ain't me. That's Pac with his wild ass. And Suge Knight told Pac to give Jay-Z a pass so he could go do his concert or his show. Because Jay wasn't coming out that room, you know, to do nothing.
Do you know why Tupac was so mad at Jay-Z?
I can't say why he was mad at him, bro. But you know, I think Jay had did that song with Big, right? Was Pac alive when he did that song with Big? Brooklyn Finest or whatever?
Man, the part that people are saying Pac might have been mad about was the part where Biggie kind of made a reference to Pac, where he's like, 2 Pacs, if Faith get pregnant, she'll probably have 2 Pacs. Get it? 2 Pacs. And so, yeah, this would have been out because the album came out in June 25th, 1996 was the day that Reasonable Doubt was released.
Yeah, so that Reasonable Doubt came out June 1996?
Yes, Reasonable Doubt came out June 1996.
All right, so then that would give Pac would be mad. He did a song with Big. Remember Pac said that he came out there with the Hawaii Silky Fame or something like that?
Yeah, he started going in on Jay. He also, from what I understand, took shots at Jay at the end of Hit 'Em Up, but during that part, the mic short-circuited, so I guess they just kind of cut it out. If you listen to it, you can still hear it on the internet. With all these people coming out against Diddy, do you think more people are going to come out?
It's a lot of people that, you got to realize is that everybody think, oh, everybody's coming out now. It's a lot of people that wanted to bring stuff out long time ago, but the lawyers wouldn't take it. The lawyers wouldn't deal with it. Cassie opened up a floodgate for lawyers to look at people's cases now and say, yeah, we might could get some money out of that. We might could do that. Yeah, he did abuse you. Nobody really cared at first. But now they see that a lot of this stuff may have some truth to it and the people can be paid for it.
Gene Deal claims the real reason the feds came for Diddy was because they finally found concrete evidence connecting him to some high-profile, high-level criminal activities. We talking about years of investigation, listening to phone taps, and collecting testimonies from people who were close to the operations.
They coming out.
I've seen that you've actually talked to some victims behind the scenes.
Yep.
I mean, without naming any names, what all can you tell me about that?
Well, I don't want to talk about what they confided in me, but it's a lot of stuff that has been going on. And like there's tapes that are running around with women. There's tape that is running around with women and they want to get a hold of those tapes so they could bring them, to the lawyers. And those tapes do exist. But it's going to be hard for them to get because a lot of people don't want them to know that they was in those tapes and they was a part of it. But it is what it is.
Speaking of tapes, Little Rod says he has a ton of video footage and that Diddy had him following him with a camera, doing all types of these illegal activities. Was there cameras around a lot back in the day?
Nah. Back in the day, they didn't even do that. They didn't even allow people to take pictures, hardly. So we didn't have those cameras like that. There was a few cameramen, Alex and this Spanish dude, they was allowed to take certain pictures, but only when you told, they asked you to. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there's footage. There's footage. I have a tape of the party that Diddy gave after Shine was convicted.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Diddy threw a party for him beating his case. I take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything on there, or it's just a normal party?
Just a normal party.
I mean, was this just a normal party or was this like a Diddy party?
It's a normal party. It's a normal Diddy party. Because you got to realize he was normal back then. He was
Okay.
he was the normal Diddy back then. Now he brother love.
Okay, well, I guess there was a situation with Diddy and a rapper, and they were in a hotel room for hours.
Who's that?
That you kind of talked about. I believe it was Ja Rule.
No, bro. No. Stop it. Yo, Cam. Diddy had Sarah and Sarah's girlfriend, right? He was trying to use them to go at Ja Rule so Ja Rule could go at Jay-Z. He was trying to set Ja up and try to have those girls, you know, throw themselves on Ja Rule in the hotel room, and they was all in the room together. When I got into an altercation with a guy who tried to get in the room, Puff and Ja Rule ran out. And when they ran out, because of the commotion, they was grabbing towels because they was naked when they came out. So he was in there, they both was in there with women.
Okay, I see. Well, that's what's up, man. All right, well, Gene, man, I appreciate your time.
Yo, Cam, thank you for letting me explain myself, man. You know, because like I said before, man, they always want to blame the accusers, but they never want to blame and put the blame on the abusers. And I appreciate Cam TV giving me this opportunity to tell my part of the stories of what was going on. All right?
For sure, man.
Salute.
I definitely, glad you got that out, man.
I appreciate you.
Thanks, bro. All right, man.
Well, I think that the authorities came up with enough evidence to go into a judge by using the civil cases that has came upon him. So because they used the civil cases and found that there was some criminal activity that may have been found at some one of those people who, like Cassie, Jonathan Odie didn't have a civil case against him, but Cassie, Jonathan Odie, and Lil Rob, they used the evidence that they had or the statements they made and convinced the judge that there was enough probable cause to go in there with a search warrant. But the way they did the search warrant and how they did it, man, I thought he was El Chapo or somebody. You know, they took a tactical team in there, brother. They had tactical units. You understand? And it was for allegedly a sex crime. But they took, yo, my man, did you see the artillery and the way the Homeland Security came in there? My man, you would have swore, you know, it was going to be some gun violence up in there, how they came to it. So my feeling of it is that enough statements have been made that they could probably prove. They did enough investigation. See, people think that when the federal government go in there on you, the reason they got a 99% conviction rate because most people say, they got me. They don't go to court with them. So for them to have a team in New York, because they didn't really mention too much about New York. They had property in New York, property in Miami, and a property in LA, all simultaneously hit. Those different agencies had to get together, plan that, and that's not no bull. You know, that's a lot of manpower, a lot of money. So they want to know.
According to Gene, Diddy's arrest is the result of the feds gathering enough evidence to finally charge him with things they've suspected for years. Stuff that goes beyond your usual celebrity drama.
How they spent the taxpayer. The taxpayer's gonna know why you spending my money on this to come up with nothing. So you best believe they had something in the first place to go up in there, either through, like I said before, wiretaps, You understand? Because if they convinced the judge that they need a warrant, they had wiretaps, surveillance, and different things that was going on. And then like, it's a lot of crazy statements that have been made. And you got to look at that interview that Jonathan Odie did, bruh. You know what I'm saying? That was probably more damaging than Cassie. And that was more damaging than Cassie, because check this out. He said Diddy was transporting liquid cocaine on his private jets. Now, the DEA wasn't involved in this. It was the FBI and the Homeland Security, basically. That's because of the sex trafficking thing. But if they find any of that stuff in any one of his houses, there's a problem. Even if they find illegal guns, the constitutional right goes the right to bear arms, but he got to have licenses for that shit. So if anybody got illegal guns up in there, if they find any kind of drugs to a high amount, cocaine and weed, I don't think Diddy gonna get charged, because what he did, he put everything in his kid's name and his company.
Did you see the video of his kids in handcuffs?
Yeah, that's a tactical thing. The kids being in handcuffs is a tactical thing that law enforcement use, you understand, hoping that people who've never been in handcuffs before, that it either scares them or want to make them talk. There's no reason after they searched those kids, because they didn't have a search warrant for bodies. They had a search warrant for like materials, laptops, telephones, logs, pictures, tapes. You know, that's what they search warrant is for. They didn't have a search warrant for bodies. So those kids, when they came out, they should have searched them. And then, yo, listen, y'all sit down right there. That was a tactical move to get them to talk and to scare them into saying something, you know, by keeping them handcuffed like that. They didn't have to do those kids like that. None of those kids have, that I know of, criminal cases against them or known for criminal activity. So there was no reason for them to do that. If them was the damn Rockefellers or somebody else, they wouldn't have had their kids handcuffed like that. But you gotta realize their father has painted a crazy picture to the authorities. You understand? It's a crazy picture and people don't realize this, brother. First and foremost, Puff has been dodging the legal system for years. His affiliation with BMF, even though Meech has said that Puff never did anything, Puff never been around her, they still was partying together. So in the authorities' mind, they feel like Puff knew what Meech was doing. Then with the introduction to Jacob and different people, and a lot of people going to jail for money laundering and stuff like that, Puff being, and this is documented, Puff being a CI for an FBI agent. I said this years ago, that him and Kirk Burroughs took some paperwork. They was taking some papers up to the FBI, stuff like when they was here in New York. They was taking paperwork up there and stuff like that. Don't know what it was, but later on found out that he was a CI. You understand? Now, what happens? He don't have that. The guy probably, that was 20, 30 years, 20 some years ago. The guy probably retired. Puff ain't dealing with him. No, he didn't pass Puff on or something like that. So now, Puff been dodging the legal system with the people had it wrong. They think it was with the Black Mafia family. No, it was with Butt Naked. I said this years ago. The person that he said is his senior advisor, Corey Jacobs. Corey had 9 16-to-life sentences for drug trafficking. You make him your senior advisor, even though that was your man, he coming home. That's your man, pots and pans. But Wolf was the one who took care of them when they was away. You know what I'm saying? Wolf was the one who took care of them. So now, you got all these, these characters, around you. What they gonna think when they come to your house? They got the evidence, or they had statements that you blew up Kid Cudi's car. You understand what I'm saying? They have statements that, you may have been affiliated with people being shot. So they come to your house like this. They treat your kids like this. Based on the picture you have played to the authorities. So them having his kids like that, I think that was wrong. After they searched those kids, make sure they didn't have no weapons on them, sit them down on the ground, make them feel comfortable, because at this time, they're not criminals. They haven't committed any crimes.
I see. Speaking of drugs, right? Because you made a comment about it earlier. How you feel about Diddy's drug mule getting arrested?
The news about them arresting the mule, now, they're gonna have to prove that. Now, if that guy becomes a witness, and if they can track anything back to Puff with that, that's gonna be one of their star witnesses.
Damn.
Cause see, they will give him leniency. They were like, yo, listen, man, hey buddy, listen here. We don't really want you. We know you was just doing this to, you were doing this to take care of your family, feed your moms. You know what I'm saying? Pay your rent. We know that. This guy's living in this mansion, using you. Then that guy becomes a star witness.
We'd love to hear what y'all think about this. Don't forget to like and subscribe.